Hey everyone, how's it going today? Coach Alvarez here, back at you another episode of Coffee with Coach. Hope you're up doing well. Got the mind in the right place. If not, as always, let's put it in the right place. So, wanted to get this out today because it was some really good stuff. And before I head up to the academy to teach and train, I want to get this really powerful message out that I heard. Again, just depends on what kind of you attract. In your universe. Again, I listen to YouTube every day with different podcasts or motivational speakers or just whatever good content I can get a hold of to feed my mind. I listen to it every day, and then I'll get recommendations or videos that just pop up in my feed, and I'll just listen to them. So Bob Proctor is a very well-known motivational speaker. Talks about attracting good things into your universe and frequencies, and just a lot of really good stuff. And one thing that I listened to, I think it was yesterday, and I've been listening to it over and over again, that I wanted to share today was he was talking about wanting more, doing more things, not being satisfied, and growth, those kind of things. So it's always going to grab my attention and things like that. And he was talking about, he had a little story he just shared about being raised by his grandmother. Said she was a lovely woman. She was an angel. She was, he loved her a lot, but she would always tell him to, to be happy with what you got, and to basically be satisfied. And he goes, as much as I loved her and everything like that, she was wrong, okay? She just gave me wrong advice. And he goes, you should be happy with what you got, but never satisfied, okay? Be happy with what you got, but never satisfied. And I like that because I think we all get a little complacent. Sometimes we get comfortable, we settle, we get a little too happy with what we do have, and the growth stops. And that's it. That's the message. If you're not, I heard that time and time again. If you're not growing, you're basically dying. You're going backwards. So being happy with the things that you have around you, but you should always want more. Better health, better finances, better credit score, better, mental health, better physical health. In my case, I train jiu-jitsu, better relationships, friends, better everything. So being happy with where you're at, but not satisfied. And I can relate to that, on so many levels. I've shared these stories before, but I'll just go back over them again. I love where I grew up at. I've learned a lot of life lessons from Saginaw, Michigan, where I'm from. And, I got a lot of family there still and everything like that. But I wasn't satisfied with what I was doing, working for General Motors, making good money, had good insurance at the time. This would be pre-2008, before they went bankrupt and everything. Life was good. If you got into General Motors, life was really, really good for you. And so, I had a new house, new car, new furniture, whatever, man, life was good. But something was missing, and I felt like I needed to make a change. So I moved. I took a big gamble and just left everything behind, and then moved to Texas. And then I was working for General Motors down here. Life was good, got a new home, blah, blah, new car, all this other stuff. But again, something was still missing. I was happy with what I got, but I just wasn't satisfied. I wanted to do something else besides just making trucks that most people can't afford. Those SUVs that we make, or that we made in General Motors, 70 plus grand vehicles. And so I left, quit General Motors, and went all in on jiu-jitsu in 2008. And, just been doing that ever since. And it was the best decision I've ever made. Besides moving from Michigan to Texas. And I ran into a friend of mine that I grew up with, and he still works at General Motors. I think he has 26 years in, so he's a few years from retiring, and I would have probably 25 years in by now if I would have stayed. And that was one of the things he told me the other day. I haven't seen this guy, in a while. He's a good friend. And he's like, man, that's the best decision you ever made was to get out when you did. And I hear that a lot from a lot of people that are still working there. I was like, man, you're lucky to find something that you love to do and are able to do it and able to quit General Motors because of the things that you have to go through in there. Yeah, it's good money, but it's not really, in my opinion, for me, wasn't really living. So I was happy with what I got, but I wasn't satisfied, so I left. And the list goes on. I can be here all day with all the different changes that I've made or whatever, but those are the two biggest ones where I just wasn't satisfied, and I took a leap of faith along with everything else and cut ties with things and then made the leap and just went for it. And it worked out. It doesn't work out like that all the time, but in these two scenarios, these two cases, it did work out. So again, guilty of not looking, but getting comfortable. You get to a good place, you get to the top of the mountain, so to speak, and then you kind of settle. And then you hear stuff like what I'm sharing with you guys, and it's a kick in the butt. Like, yeah, man, you need to get back to it. You need to, I took a little break from competing in 2020, which to me was a huge mistake. Shouldn't have did that, but it is what it is. I took the break, and I'm back after it now and competing. I missed it. I took a little break from it, and I was happy with the results that I've gotten in the past, but just something was missing. Like, man, I belong out there. I need to compete. I need to stay active. I need to keep my game sharp. I don't want my game to stop growing. In order for me to keep it growing, besides just regular training every day, I need to go test myself on the competition, and get back out there and battle and go through all the emotions and the things that I go through, that I was kind of sharing with yesterday with, competition isn't supposed to be fun. The loneliness part of it, the sacrifices, the investments that you have to make. I actually miss that. And I know it's important for me to to help myself grow. I gotta help my students grow, and I gotta be able to, I don't ever want to have to be the one that was like I used to, share these war stories, and you hear people back in the day, back in high school, I used to, score touchdowns, or I used to play basketball, or I used to do this. Like, I'm still active. Like, I can help my students now with things because I'm going through the things that they're going through because I'm still competing. So, just not allowing yourself to be satisfied. Keep growing, keep moving forward, keep looking for things to keep pushing you to a better place, to a new place. This Bob Proctor guy, he's like, man, the world, if you're not taking risk, you're not really living. You're not finding out what's out there. There's so many things out there in this world that you need to discover and witness and experience, that if you're just being happy where you're at, you'll never experience those things. You know what I mean? So, and I can attest to that too. Like, I really was one of those guys, like I said before, like I never really traveled on a plane before, and I never really went anywhere like significant, at least in my opinion. And now I've been all over the world, like literally all over the world, like Japan, Australia, Europe, Abu Dhabi, Brazil, all over the United States, competing. Been to so many cities and done so many things. Like, now that I know what I know, I'm like, man, I would just really just be like kicking myself if I just never really took those chances and went to these places to see these things with my own eyes and plant my feet on another country, in another city, in another, just witness the things that I've witnessed. It's just growth happened because of that. You want more. And it's like, man, I've come this far, and I've seen the things that I've seen. What else is out there? This stuff is amazing. What else is out there? So when I heard this message, be happy with what you got, but never satisfied, it just hit, because it's like, yeah, that's it, man. Like, that's it. And, unfortunately, I know quite a few people that are satisfied, and they are where they're at, and they never really experience anything and they're just, because they just don't know. Their parents or wherever, their friends that they're around never really go anywhere or do anything. And so all they see is what they were just born around, and that's it. And there's so much more to life and other things that you just need to really get out there and make things happen and take some chances, take some risk. I took risk. You know, I left my hometown. I quit a really good paying job with really good insurance. Like that was the biggest risk out of them all. And so far it's worked out, and it's been a blessing ever since. But you know, it's constant growth. And again, I'm guilty, just like everyone else, of getting complacent, getting a little too comfortable with getting somewhere that you had this goal in mind, and I get it. And then you kind of rest a little bit, and then it's like, man, I gotta get back to work. And these things that I'm listening to help me get back to work. So whatever you have in your mind, whatever you see that you want to do, you need to go do it. Take some risks, take some chances, make some moves, calculate them. You know, this guy was also talking about, you know, there's just never a right time. Like sometimes you got to make things happen, and you figure it out on the way. And that's true too. There's some things where I'm like, man, I don't know if this is right at the right time, but I'll figure it out. And now that's kind of the motto I live by now. Like bad things happen, cool, man, whatever. I've already been down the path similar to this. I've already been down this path before. I'll just figure it out. I know I can make it through there. So good stuff today. So again, be happy with what you got, but never be satisfied. Keep growing, especially in your health and in your finances. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll catch you on the next one. We'll see you.